You could do your own countdown.
Okay, and it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to Nerd Talk. Oh, was I supposed to wait for the clapper?
The clapper.
You can't start until you get the.
And action. Okay, so today we're talking WandaVision episode.
Tracy.
Oh, looks like someone's got a Wanda Pop Funko.
Yes, 70s Wanda.
Does Garrett have that yet? Did we get something before Garrett?
Did you see Garrett? He's got a Pop Funko likeness of me. I seen it on Friday.
Really?
It was about this big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody needs a Tracy Funko Pop.
That's right. I mean, other people called it Superman, but hey.
I called it Forrest Gump.
I was thinking it was the Mickey Mouse one that Daniel had.
Oh,
you guys aren't funny.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
And this haircut.
Garrett put my grandma in timeout. I can't believe Garrett did that.
Wow, when did that happen?
Well, there was a comment that my mother put in the chat earlier.
That he typed.
I did not type that. It's true.
It was my grandma's account saying that Tracy's the funniest person ever, something like that. And Garrett put my grandma in timeout. Yeah, this was a really great episode. I'm very excited to talk about it.
Yes, and I'm quoting already. So
let's get to it. Let's say thank you for Dean for the Live Place for hosting Nerd Talk on Sundays on the Live Place channel. You want to find a family-friendly streamer or a family-friendly stream, go to theliveplace.com, check it out, and you're going to find them. Welcome in, my Nerd Talk fellow Nerd Talkers.
Nerds.
Yes, we have Kenzie Days. And below us, we have Jeff and Angela from Diz Our Dream. Welcome in.
I'm Jeff. This is Angela.
I thought it was the other way around for the longest time.
Just making sure everybody knows.
And
we do have to clarify. You are Tracy. So.
Oh, absolutely.
I just got my notification. So
Kenzie Days is dead. And down here, we have What in the World with Russ Stapleton. And let's get to the chat real quick before it gets way out of hand. Welcome in, Billy A. The comment that she had was Beverly A. said, all I know is that Tracy is the funniest person she's ever known, and Kenzie should be a lot nicer to him and not hit him with the broom.
I feel like Grandma would support me hitting you with a broom. I feel like Grandma would be very supportive of that.
So even though she's probably not commenting, hi, Mom. You got Billy.
She's definitely not commenting now.
Well, no. Woman's learning how to use the dang thing, and Garrett's timing people out. She's learning how to use it, and Garrett's learning how to be a mod. I guess that's just how it works.
You didn't read my comment.
No, I'm not going to read Billy Joe's comment because. All right, welcome in, Billy. Monarch Moments. And Annie Cougar. Glen again. Welcome in, Francisco. That's fun to say, Francisco.
I'm gonna leave.
What are you gonna leave?
I'm gonna leave the stream, and I'm not going to come back.
It's like a thing. I have to do it. I have to. Welcome in, Daniel from Disfinity. Christine Hickman, welcome in. Hope you find your dad.
Hope you find your dad, buddy. Sorry.
Dreamer Deborah, welcome in. Super Fluffy Yeti, another fun name to say. Super Fluffy Yeti. Annie, Super Fluffy Yeti. Will, the Hitchhiking Bones. Will, welcome in. Mike Wheeler, gobble gobble, buddy.
You stress me out when you're saying hi to people in chat. Like it gives me so much anxiety.
Why?
Just listening to you try and say people's names. It stresses me out.
I didn't even see Mike Wheeler.
Mike Wheeler's there.
Okay.
He was in earlier.
Yeah, he was in earlier. He might be back.
There he is. Okay.
Hi, Mikey.
Chris, Dad Builds, welcome in. I think Chris is going to change his name to Dad Bites or Dad Sounds or Dad Clips. Carlos, welcome in. And Penguins Master, welcome in. Also Penguins Master.
Carlos.
Yeah, Glen Tracy isn't Steve, so no one has that amount of power. Steve is almighty in the ways of chat reading.
I think you're trying to insult me.
Yes, I am.
So let's get to the episode, people. What did you think? Let's start with Jeff and Angela. I mean, Jeff's watched it like 5 times so far, and that
Did you watch it like 5 times?
I love this episode.
It was good.
I thought this was the best one so far.
Here was my favorite part. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer? Okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Homecoming Queen.
Uh-oh. Russ is out. Oh, there he's
He can't stand it.
He was done. Okay. What did you like about it, Jeff?
What did I like about it?
Mm-hmm.
I liked that it built on the first 2 in its weirdness, and it keeps you guessing. And I think I might have noticed something at the end that nobody else noticed. So
all right,
we'll see.
We're going to talk about that later.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I thought the Geraldine coming over and helping Wanda, and then what happened to her, that was a little sus. And then the when Art, when he's chopping through the block out.
Yeah, with that hedge trimmer.
Herb.
It's like, how do you cut through that block with a hedge trimmer? But okay.
Very carefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought my iPad glitched at a point too, in the show, and I had to like rewind it and go back.
It was a real glitch.
Yeah. It was a real glitch. So yeah,
all right.
That's all I'm going to say about it till we catch up.
Angela?
Yeah, I loved it too. All the things he said. So it's kind of all coming together, and it's funny. We've already talked about that. It shows a different side to the actors. So
Paul Bethany.
Ken's?
I really enjoyed seeing what was going on, like behind the scenes, because we see more of like Agnes is kind of in charge a little bit regarding the neighborhood itself. Like obviously Wanda's in charge of everything going on, but I really enjoyed the style. I really like 70s stuff with the style of movies about that time. And I really enjoyed seeing, the stress of Vision. I thought that was really funny with him like freaking out over the whole pregnancy thing, and it was really funny. And I think this was like genuinely a really funny episode. And the ending was like, whoa, that's crazy. Obviously there are so many questions that we still have, but it's starting to make a little bit more sense after having watched like 3 episodes versus, when you start the first episode and absolutely nothing makes sense.
Right.
So it's starting to come together just a little bit. I'm very excited. When I tell you, I went like, oh my God, when we had the mention of Ultron.
Right.
Very excited about that. That made me like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Ultron.
Yes.
I very much, a part of me really hopes that Ultron makes a reappearance. That's like my biggest hope for Marvel in general, is I want more Ultron. He deserves better. I think that would be really amazing to have some type of Ultron comeback. Maybe not in WandaVision, but maybe even in WandaVision. We saw that Ultron was a very big part of Wanda's bringing up in her powers and stuff. So
yeah, there
could be an involvement there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, Russ, what did you think overall?
I enjoyed it. From a comic book standpoint, they brought in the the story of her being pregnant and having the twins. I have some new theories from this episode after watching this one. And yeah, I'm excited for where it's going. I think it's going to be really fun. And I also still think that it's going to continue to stay very weird. So I've talked to a couple people that, they get kind of a lost vibe, where it's, you have no idea what's going on because, but there is a big picture. So we will get that eventually. But yeah, this one, obviously, the ending, I think, plays a big part in this episode and gives us a lot of answers and makes more questions. So
what answers did it answer other than that there's something on the outside? But then again, so I do what I normally do. I watch the episode. I rewatched it again this morning with Billy. And then I went to another webpage or YouTube channel. I just dropped the link in there. That's for new rock stars. That gives me the Easter eggs and the breakdowns that I kind of missed, or because I am not as well versed as in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel comic universe as Russ is. I need someone to sit down and go through, and this guy really did break down a lot of good stuff.
Okay.
So the beginning, did anybody kind of figured out what TV show they were parodying right from the get-go?
Brady Bunch.
Yeah, Brady
It was
Bunch.
sort of like a
See, I
cross
thought it
between the
was
Brady Bunch and Partridge
Family.
Yeah, Partridge
I would
Family.
hear that the music was like.
The music was Partridge, but the house looked like Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Well, there's a song that
that was singing. Come on, get happy.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, you had a mixture of the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family. We had the song and the theming, but you also see the hexagons, the
Yes.
the outline, the Brady Bunch opening. Obviously, that's the same kind of backyard that the Brady Bunch had, the AstroTurf, the swing set that was actually in the same color scheme of Vision. Did anybody pick that out? That the swing set was in the same color scheme as the cartoon Vision or the comic book Vision?
Yep.
And then it just solidified me saying that there were more of the Brady Bunch when I seen the staircase. Once I seen the staircase, it just said, "Yep, Brady Bunch."
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we move on. We got the opening. What do we see?
I watched it on Friday and I haven't watched it since. So
Jeff probably. What did we see first?
Well, the doctor is at the house and he's reassuring them that she is pregnant. He doesn't say anything about twins at the time. He just says she's pregnant. And then as soon as the doctor leaves, Vision comes back in and she's like progressed a couple months. So
well, he said
Vision's trying to calculate.
He said she was 4 months pregnant, and Vision's like
trying to do the
12
calculations.
hours.
Which to me, I guess the way I looked at it, between the last episode and this episode, you jumped a decade in style, and it's only been 12 hours. So it's really that's the only thing that kind of gets me through the whole.
I've been like there. I've not seen anywhere where it says an actual date, but I've been dating the episode according to the song that they play, and the "Cheer Up, Sleepy Jean" or "Daydream Believer" by the Monkees was from 1968.
Oh wow!
So it's still quite. If we're going by that, it's still not quite 70s, but it's close.
Right.
Because I think they're going to be in this.
But they call the Funko 70s Wanda, so it has to be 70s.
And exactly, and I think you're right. I mean, and again, this is just my theory. We're just going by the songs, but it definitely looks like the 70s. So
Davy Jones was on the Brady Bunch in the 70s. So
that's true. That's true.
Oh, my nose.
I also agree with what Dad Build says. It's fun to see Vision with such personality because we didn't really get to see much of his personality.
Yes.
Right.
The previous movies. I really like seeing, and like Diz Infinity said, really interesting how Vision and the town are realizing something's up, but Wanda wants to stay in this, so she's realizing stuff. I really thought that was interesting how Vision's like, there's something wrong here. And then immediately she snaps it back. He goes and says a completely different thing. And it's like it never happened. I find the neighbors to be super sus. I'm not a fan of Agnes right now. I love that actress, but Agnes herself is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I have my theories, but I'm going to save it till the end. Because
but it's like, but she seems more suspicious of
Emily,
the other girl. What's her
Welcome
name?
in, Emily. LSU Mom. Welcome in, Jeffrey Resendez. Welcome in, Matt Stiles.
I think
Genevieve.
I don't think that Agnes is suspicious of Geraldine.
Geraldine. Well, she said, is Geraldine still in there? You know, she doesn't have a home.
I think
right to the end.
Agnes has some type of, like, she's trying to keep things going smoothly. So she's trying to plant the idea in their head that Geraldine isn't a good person. When I feel that I feel like Geraldine's trying to help Wanda out of there, trying to get her to realize, but Agnes knows that they can't let Wanda know that, so that's why she's planting the idea in Vision's head that Geraldine isn't good.
Oh.
So I think Geraldine is a good person. I think she's trying to help and she's trying to fix it, and Agnes doesn't want that to happen.
But Geraldine knows something.
She's what's her name from
Sword. Well, she had the sword.
Yeah, she's from Captain Marvel. She's the little girl from Captain Marvel. So she's from other things.
Okay. I keep forgetting that. Tracy. I don't recognize her. That's the thing. I don't recognize that woman from Captain Marvel.
Because
she's not in
You're not going to. Because
in Captain Marvel, she's like 8.
She's a child.
This is later on in the future.
Okay, I thought you said that actress was the same one, but maybe from somewhere else. Okay.
Hey, Tracy, is it okay to start sticking things up our nose?
Why?
Don't do that. That's my
Why,
pen.
mother? Why? There's no need to call my wife and start giving.
Let's see what we can stick up our nose.
Send your mom a link.
Oh my god!
No, I just
That's
not happening.
All right, that goes in the trash. Put that in the trash, please.
But yeah, I think the whole thing with Geraldine, I think she's good, and it's kind of like Agnes trying to sabotage Geraldine's mission to get Wanda out.
Got it.
That's how I interpreted it.
Well, I mean, that's the way you can interpret it. I have probably a different theory altogether, but then again, I'm slanted from actually watching some of these others.
Yeah. Go by your theory you thought when you first watched it.
Okay.
Yes, not by a theory someone else told you to think.
Yeah. See, we haven't looked at any of those other theories, right? Have you? Or have you?
No.
Okay.
I want to know what Herb was going to say.
I would love to know what Herb was going to say.
She was sent here to.
I'm here because we're all what?
She said she's here because we're all. They said she's here because we're all.
Okay.
I think exactly what Danny's saying, what Daniel was saying, that they're trapped. I think that's the way I'm going with it. So in this episode, we have what ends up happening is she's growing exponentially. Here, Vision thinking that she's going to have that baby by Friday, and it's one day she has the baby in one day, and not even a day.
Same day.
The same day she, so I think it's less than 24 hours. She has the 2 babies. It's weird.
The doctor was going to go to Bermuda on a trip to Bermuda.
That is correct.
So he was on his way to Bermuda when Vision, but his car was not working.
I don't think his car was ever going to work.
No.
And then you hear him like it's impossible to get out of these small towns. It's impossible.
Yes.
Well, again, it goes back and forth between the plot of the show and what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So,
I mean, realistically, out of this episode, we get the birth of the 2 children, and we get we see Wanda resetting what she doesn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So she does have some control over what's going on in this world. All right.
Yes.
And then
I thought it was, funny that, they show that because she's like nesting, she's
right.
And Vision's just like, what do I do? What do I do? He's just haywire the whole time. But then her powers start going nuts. my favorite scene is when when her water breaks.
And then it's raining.
And it starts to rain, and then it cuts to the neighbor's house, Dottie and Phil.
No, that's before the water breaks. That's when she's having the Braxton Hicks and the power.
Well, that's it. Yeah, right.
So and then she says, "Does these what make me look fat?
Do these earrings make me look fat?"
And then it goes out, and he's like,
goes out.
Goodness.
Thank
thank God.
That couldn't have happened at a better time.
Couldn't have had it at a better time. But here's the thing:
Mark and Irene.
When Monica Rambeau shows up into the house as what's her name, Geraldine shows up. She's asking for a bucket because the pipe in her house broke and it's raining. But here's the thing: the other neighbors are saying that she doesn't have a family, she doesn't have a house. Where's her pipes breaking?
Yeah,
right. That's a good point.
Well, I think she was at the house to make sure she delivered the babies and to take care of Wanda. I think that's why she was there. The bucket was irrelevant, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I have a different theory.
Was trying to get into the house, and there was a reference to Hydra in that commercial.
I was just gonna say we should talk about the commercial, the Hydra soak.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very, very interesting.
So welcome in, wonderful world of Walter. Geraldine's supposed to be Monica Rambeau from the young girl from
Captain
Marvel grown up, and now is a SHIELD, a sword agent.
Yeah.
So that's what that necklace was. You remember that from the Marvel? Okay.
Sword.
See, it didn't mean anything.
Well,
to me.
so sword is we've never seen sword before. This is a different organization. This is not SHIELD. Sword is a totally different organization that we've not seen yet in the Marvel universe.
Okay.
I mean, they've been around in the comics, but not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
So we're getting introduced to them now. They will play a part coming throughout the rest. They're going to be the new SHIELD.
Okay.
And I have a feeling that that's why in Far From Home, Spider-Man, at the end, here you'll have Nick Fury on a space station with the rest. I think he's there to set up Sword. So I think we have a tie-in with the end of Far From Home, and here, because technically SHIELD's no longer in existence. Once you hit Captain America, Winter Soldier, there is technically no more SHIELD.
See, I find that very funny though, because our replacement for SHIELD is Sword. And that just makes me think about Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Well, that's the way that they were set up. In the comics, SHIELD is the Earthbound group. Sword is the Spacebound group. And so the Sword is supposed to, protect the Earth before something gets to Earth. And then the SHIELD is what protects the Earth. And then so that's kind of where that comes from. It's just, and in the comics, they're both around at the same time. They're just like two different branches of the military where they're both working at the same time. Then they're also, but within their leadership, though, there's a lot of clashes and things within with different characters. But yeah, I agree with Tracy. I think we're setting up a new branch to protect from the bigger things, because now we know that things can come from space.
Well, welcome in, Keith, big Disney fan. So, and that's the thing. We're technically at the end of Winter Soldier. SHIELD is no longer existing. If you're going by what's in the Marvel Cinematic and television universe, which we have Agents of SHIELD, Coulson's technically set up SHIELD under his own little group, and you had Nick Fury show up with the carrier at the end of, what movie was that? Age of Ultron, correct?
I kind of zoned out. I haven't heard anything you've said for the past minute. Like the fact that I'm not joking makes it even worse. Like I was reading chat. I'm so sorry.
So,
what about the stork?
Well,
That
the
was
stork,
funny.
I think that's just her powers going haywire. She created the stork from the painting on the wall. But then again,
it brought the babies, right? Didn't it?
It did bring the babies. I mean, but she couldn't get rid of that stork either.
Right.
So you could tell that there's. I think that there's a combination of Wanda and an outside organization together, putting her in some kind of trance, or has her kind of put in this little world. I think for her, and this is my opinion, and my opinion only, she's upset with the loss of Vision. After Endgame, where does she go? What does she do? She probably meets an organization to say, hey, listen, we could set something up for your own little mind. And Agnes is her agent inside of that mind to kind of make sure things go smooth. Now, we know that they don't follow the comic books precisely. You know, there's just some craziness that they go through. They're trying to simplify it. So I think, and you got to figure if Sword's involved and Sword's an outside entity, who knows? Maybe all of these people in the town aren't real people. Maybe they're not figments of the imagination. Maybe every one of them is a Skrull.
Could be. Skrull's coming back.
You know?
I thought it was really interesting how there's also parts that you can really tell that they're going for that TV look. Like when Vision's over at the wall thing that Herb had like moved into with the hedge trimmer, you could very clearly and obviously tell that there was a backdrop right behind them. They didn't try to make it look like it was someone else's yard, because they can easily make it look like it's someone else's yard. But instead, they make it very obvious that it's a backdrop.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Well, and again, I think that's partly the show, you know, the show aspect of, you know, the Brady Bunch type show. That's the look of it. You know, that they don't explore much of the town, because they don't in the show either. It's, you know, they're at their house, or they're, you know.
Well, the only time we see it outside is the library, and then outside the library when they did the show.
Yeah.
And the doctor's house. Hello, Keith.
Doctor's house, so.
Yeah, Keith, welcome in from Batu. Well, Keith, welcome in from my kitchen.
Hey, you guys are still in Batu?
Can I ask if you guys noticed what I noticed?
Go ahead. There's no form here. I'm not worried about form or function.
All right. I hope I'm the only one. I'm probably not. So at the end, when Vision was talking with Herb and the lady, forget her name, outside,
Agnes,
and he comes back in, and he goes, "Where's Geraldine?" And she goes, "Oh, she went away." Did you notice how the picture went?
What picture?
The screen.
Oh yeah,
it went from there to 9. Yeah. Did you know? Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Because what was taking it is it was taking it from the 4-3 aspect.
Yeah.
And it's bringing you out to what's now in today's age of the 16:9.
Right.
Yeah.
And Geraldine comes out and then.
Oh.
This is not the only TV show that I've seen use this technique. There was a show on Amazon Prime, and they used the same kind of thing. Anything that was a flashback was in 14:3, and anything that was today was in 16:9. So I kind of see how it kind of moved out, and I'm like, okay, so now they're bringing us from this reality to this reality. And did you happen to notice that whatever happens inside this Wanda reality that she's got going on in this real town that's taken over by her reality, if she kicks you out, you're technically out of that reality, but whatever happens in that reality happens to you, because if that was the real Monica Rambeau who went in there dressed as one thing, she got kicked out dressed in her 1970s clothes. So it's almost like the Matrix. What happens in the Matrix? If you die in the Matrix, you're going to die in the real world. So she kicked her out. She was in real close. The question is this the Monica Rambeau that's in her imagination? If the next season we see Monica Rambeau in 1920, what do you say? 2025, right? 2023.
What?
The year that this happens is after Endgame. You got to remember that, unless this is what happens before Endgame, but this is what happens after Endgame.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep.
Endgame happens in what year, Russ?
I don't know.
Oh my God, Nick. It's a 5-year leap from Infinity War to Endgame. So what year did Infinity War come out?
75.
I don't know where you're going with this, Tracy.
Is this a multiple choice test? Can you?
I don't know I know you're trying to figure out when this is going on.
Right.
But we don't know that yet. We don't know exactly when that is.
So if Infinity War, when was Infinity War released in theaters?
2018, I think.
Endgame takes place days after the snap because they travel in time.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 2018, right? The beginning of Endgame is 2018. The end of Endgame is 5 years later, so you're talking 2023. So this either happens in between the 5 years gap between Wanda and between Infinity War and Endgame, or this happens after Endgame before Phase 4. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's either 2023, 2024 in their time.
2023.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
So I have my theory.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to kind of wait till we get to the end because we want to talk about those things. But so my theory is that Wanda's in control. And I feel like she has, in her grief from losing Vision, from not having the life that she wanted, has decided to create her own world.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly with the help of Agnes, who, if she's the character that I think she is her mentor and is also a witch. They set up this town and the people in it are trapped inside this town because they were originally part of this town. And Agnes has basically told them that if you do not play along, that you're probably going to die because Wanda will not like it.
Right.
Because Wanda is in control. And so you see these things that whenever she doesn't like something, she changes it.
Yeah.
Or she'll get rid of it. I feel like Geraldine, who's supposedly Monica Rambeau, is a sword agent who has been sent into this town because we've already seen that when people are sneaking in to the town, and we see little snippets of sword. With this is the first time we didn't see like a red like the red helicopter. It was blatantly, this is a sword logo that she's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Now why she's wearing it on her costume is another thing. I have no idea. But I feel like that they have sent her into the town to try and talk Wanda down to get them out and to stop. Because I also feel like whatever she's doing inside is also affecting the outside in a bad way. So that's just my theory. I obviously the kids are not real. And that's the way it is in the comics. They're just constructs that she's made up. Later on, they do become actual characters in the comics, but they're totally different people. It's just like the souls of these people, which also makes me think that Vision is still alive, but without a body. I think he's inside Wanda's mind
because of part of the Mind Stone that she has in her power.
Exactly. And so that's my theory. Again, could be totally wrong, but just from watching this episode, it got me excited about and kind of helped fill in some of the holes that I had. But that's where I'm coming from and just from my knowledge of the comics. So
yeah. That makes sense to me. I feel like she's in control too, because it seems like she's able to just change whatever she wants to change when she wants to do it. So,
but you still go back to episode 2, and they're asking her, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" So I think that.
well, maybe they're trying to get in, right?
Well,
The outside
and I
forces.
think that could be the fact that she may have done it to herself, and she does not know how to stop it. You know, because even when they're sitting there in the first episode, and the lady's telling her to stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. You know, I don't know that she knows how to stop it. You know, I think she has control, but at the same time, I think that, you know, between her and Agnes, you know, they've created this world, and it's gotten out of control, and now I think that's why Sword is coming in to step in and control it.
But if you see the outside at the end of this episode, you can see there's some kind of shielding that's going on between the real town of Westfield and what's inside of Westfield.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's what Wanda has set up to keep people out, you know, in order to keep people from stopping her, you know, because this is her world. This, you know, she doesn't want people coming in to mess with it. You know, so yeah, it's going to be hard to get in. So I don't know how. You know, again, I don't know how people are getting in. I don't know any of that yet. You know, we don't know. But again, this is just my theory to that. So I do feel like, you know, the only times we've ever seen the Sword stuff is at night. You know, it's never been daytime. But again, it's only 3 episodes. So
how many episodes are they saying? This is only an 8-episode arc.
I'm thinking it's 8 or 9 or something something like that. So it's not, you know, it won't be too much longer. But yeah. I think, and then here's my other thing, because last week I talked about how the end credits, you know, looks several like you know, pixelated and like a computer type thing, like a vision type thing. Well, I've changed my mind now. It reminds me now of pixels of a television, of a color television, and that's rather than of something like computerized. It looks more like a. So I feel like she has created this television world, and that's where they're stuck.
Right.
And so, you know, and I don't know if it's expanding. That's maybe why they're trying to control. I don't know whether it's, you know, somehow having some sort of magical or, you know, power effect on the world. You know, I have no idea. And there could be another force behind it. You know, we don't know.
I don't see it expanding. I think she just constructs what she needs to.
Right.
Because, I mean, think about it. Look at the backdrops that you've seen behind her. That was absolutely a matte painting that you would see in a 1970s
sitcom
TV show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like what Annie said, that it's like the Hunger Games dome.
What's Callie, Twister, and Callie?
So Kali, like the ride Kali. You know, Kali.
Is that something we're doing in the future there, Jeff?
He's nuts.
Twister. Maybe he's talking about the Twister
I think he wants to ride Kali, play a game of Twister, and then ride Kali again.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
the game of Twister.
I was playing Twister. We were in Rise of the Resistance, and they have all the
and
colored dots and stuff, and I was playing Twister.
Jeff was trying to play Twister.
Worked out too well.
So, I mean, these episodes are a lot shorter than The Mandalorian. These episodes are a lot shorter. Like last week when we got our first initial episode of WandaVision, we had two good episodes to discuss, which totally blew my mind. I mean, it's tough to bring a whole hour's worth of discussion on WandaVision, but you know what? We'll stretch it, or we could just pick on Kenzie or something.
Well, I actually just had another realization from reading my notes, just because I didn't think about it. But so at the end, Geraldine comes flying out. She is in her 70s clothes, which I think, again, if it goes with my theory, she went in dressed like that. And I think, but then the thing is, though, when she landed, she gets surrounded by the Sword agents. So I wonder now if she really isn't part of Sword, but who knows? You know, or that just could have been their response.
She would have that necklace on if she wasn't a part of Sword.
Exactly, it wouldn't, and so it may have just been their military response.
It might have been the response to just, oh my goodness, someone actually
came
out.
That was even Sword outside, though.
Well, and
those people could have definitely not been stored.
True. Yeah, we hear. Well, again, we had that thing with the commercial, the Hydra thing. So Hydra could still be around and doing something.
Again, they also had Tony Stark or Stark in the first episode. So yeah,
true. And I still feel like the commercials are memories that Wanda is somehow remembering them, and they're showing them as commercials. It's just little snippets, just from the research that I've done and the things that I've read from other people's theories. Like you have the first episode, the first one with the toaster, so she's remembering Tony, she's remembering Stark. Of course, remember the Stark is the reason they got their powers in the first place. Because their town in Sokovia was destroyed by Stark weapons, and so that's the reason why they volunteered with Hydra. How she got her powers in the first place. Then she's remembering Strucker with the watch, because again Hydra, and then now again it's all about Hydra because they went to Hydra for answers, and so I mean again this is just my theory. But that's what from the research that I've seen. So,
see, the only problem is if Super Fluffy Yeti. I'll get to your question in a minute. The problem that you see with Monica Rambeau going in as a 70s character, how would they know what unless they're kind of watching the episodes? And
Monica Rambeau didn't start in the 70s. She was in the what?
She was in the 60s.
Yeah, she was in the 60s.
She was in the second episode,
but she was kicked out in the 70s. So if she went in before the shift, I can see that. But how would she know? I mean, yes, but somebody's watching whatever's being, and that's what I think. Maybe someone's got to be.
And again, I mean, if she's come from the outside, maybe she has another way of getting out. But then this last time, that's she got thrown out.
Okay. So Super Fluffy Yeti says, do you think the sitcom style and acting matched the sitcom that they were living in? I think so. I think it was very Partridge Family, Brady Bunch type of acting or type of style that they were in. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I do.
Hello, William. Welcome in England, Portugal, 91.
Yeah.
And Garrett, in the comics, yes, she is the daughter of Magneto, but not in the MCU.
In the MCU, they couldn't do that because at the time that they brought in Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, there were still two different studios, so they couldn't actually say.
Well, because Magneto is X-Men.
Yes.
And so is Scarlet Witch is X-Men also, but she's also in the Avengers, and so they were able to use her version. That's why she's not in the red that she's in the comics.
And that's why Quicksilver died in Age of Ultron, because they were planning to continue with Quicksilver in the X-Men, and that was one of the conditions. If they could use two Quicksilvers, one of them had to die. And MCU, who didn't own the rights to the name, ended up dying. So I mean but now that Disney has acquired 20th Century Fox and they acquired the X-Men games, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean they could introduce. I don't think that they'll introduce her. I don't think they'll introduce Magneto as her father
because her father's dead,
right?
In Sokovia,
and that's another theory is that the people like in the toaster episode or the toaster commercial, the people there are just very out there. They're like their reactions are kind of almost dead. And there's been theories that those two people were supposed to represent her parents who are dead. But again, it's just something I read.
So
there's lots of questions more than answers.
A lot of questions.
I think that's why this is so much fun.
And you know what? And I'm gonna love to say we could watch back all of these episodes, and once the final one comes out, and we could say, "Wow, were we totally 100% wrong?"
Well, I think we should. I think when we get finished, I think we should go back and review the whole thing and be like, "Okay, now I understand."
I agree.
So, what else is there?
What were you going to say? You were going to say something.
No, I would have thought that, when Wanda said, Geraldine said, Ultron, he killed your brother. When she was saying she was a twin after she had the twins, and
yeah,
I would have thought that Wanda. I guess Wanda didn't want to hear that though, about anything about the reality. So that's why she did
She was
that.
wondering how she knew.
But I think she was trying to help her more than.
Well, I almost, because again, going back to the first episode where they can't remember their story. So I feel like she has wiped her own memory because she doesn't want to remember. She doesn't want to know. But then these things are slipping out, like because she mentioned that she had a brother named Pietro. Mm-hmm. Well, where did that come from? And I feel like she was remembering. Well, then that Geraldine, if for my theory, if she's from the outside, she knows who Ultron was.
Right.
So I feel like she is trying to break her from this, so help her to remember what she's really doing. And, so that might be that's why Geraldine said that.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I thought go ahead. Go ahead, Russ.
No, I mean, that was it. I mean, I think that's why she said that she's trying to get Wanda out of it. And it could be if Geraldine is not a part of SWORD, maybe she's coming in from the Avengers standpoint, or from her friends to try and help her, whereas SWORD is the outside force and they're trying to stop her, rather than help her.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like maybe Wanda knows, but she's just trying to, she felt it was safe to bring it up. Well, she had a twin. I think she knows. I think she knows what's going on.
She was singing baby songs in Sokovian.
Right.
Sokovia was mentioned in the first episode. Wanda knows where she's from. Mm-hmm. She knows about all these things, but I think the whole thing is that she has it's like people with short-term memory loss. They understand, they remember all these things from their past, but they can't remember something that happened like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it's something like she remembers Sokovia, she remembers her brother, she remembers Ultron, she remembers all this stuff, but she doesn't remember how she got there.
Yeah. I feel like she knows everything that's going on, but that's just me. I just feel like she knows, and she remembers her brother, but she doesn't want to talk about it because she doesn't want to bring that reality to this world. Right. And so she figured it was safe to mention it. But then when Geraldine said he dropped, Ultron, and then she was like, "Wait a minute, how do you know that? You're supposed to be not bringing. What are you doing in my world, bringing that up? You're from the outside world, so I need to get rid of you."
Right. Maybe Ultron has them trapped in this reality. So, because she knows how powerful Wanda is, so he has her trapped.
I really don't think that Ultron is coming back.
No, I don't think she's trapped. I think
Annie says. So do you think the neighbors not want out? ? They seem to be worried about Wanda being alone, being with Geraldine.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe if they are visions of Wanda's own mind, or they're being controlled by Wanda and she's taken over this town, if she chooses to break that spell of where she is and what happens, do these people all just disappear, or do they all get freed? Who knows? Maybe he was going to say we're all just constructs of her imagination, or constructs of what her world. If she comes out of this, boom, they're all gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I still feel like it. I still feel kind of like what Daniel said, that they're trapped. I think that they're stuck here because she took over the town.
Wanda did.
They have to play along. And like I say, I think Agnes has told them that if you don't, you're in trouble. That Wanda will because they've already mentioned that. I think didn't they mention that someone else was also kicked out at some point? And so they know what happens. I'm not sure. I mean, or something happened to that person. Who knows?
Yeah, she removes them.
but for some reason, they are scared of her, and I almost kind of see. I don't know. I need to go back and watch 1 and 2 again and see if that fear kind of is there. If because of the like the whole thing with the neighborhood watch at the library. You know, they didn't really want him there. They didn't want Vision there, and I feel like that was their secret meeting to talk about Wanda and Vision. You know, and now Vision has infiltrated, not knowing what he's doing.
Yeah.
That, now they've got to come up. Okay, well now we're doing something else.
Yeah, and that whole beekeeper too, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the beekeeper thing could have been. And there's a lot of theories about the beekeeper that it's Swarm, which is another villain. That it's a sword agent. Again, it could have been Geraldine.
So sneaking in from the outside.
It could be AIM, which is a whole nother organization that I don't think it's that. I mean, I think it's more simple than what everybody's thinking. But to bring in all these new organizations and all these new characters, I think it's right here with the characters that we know, but then it's introducing side characters that help the story along. So.
Yeah. And I think how even Vision was like, Wanda, I think something's wrong. Mm-hmm. And then she so it's almost like he does exist too, with his own person and his own, he's thinking, but then she kind of dials it back and kind of takes him over. If he gets to start thinking too much for himself, she has to control it a little bit.
Isn't he the only one she's ever done that to?
Yeah.
I think so. I think he's the only one that she's controlled and done that to.
The beekeeper, but
that's right.
The beekeeper.
That's right.
She rewound the beekeeper.
Yeah.
And when I was watching the new Rockstars and welcome in Tina Marie's place, and Annie, you're funny. I like that. Poor Jeremy delivers the baby, gets treated like that.
Yeah.
The Hive, if just watching this, you have the Hive. If you look at everything that we see, it's a hexagon. Every closing, everything, the hexagon, that's actually a B cell. Who knows if there's a connection between that hexagon and the beekeeper?
Mm-hmm.
But there's been other little Easter egg flashes too about Mephisto and a couple others, as well. And so that's why I'm kind of thinking that maybe they're just drawing those things from the comics as a stylization type thing, and it might not be.
Realistically, they could be messing with all of us.
Exactly.
These producers could be totally going in a different route altogether and saying, "We know you nerds are going to sit there and talk and
overanalyze,
and it's going to be so simple that you're going to be like, well, that was." But who knows?
And I think that's it. I think it's way more simple than what we're thinking.
Right.
That's why I still think that it's Wanda who's in charge and Wanda who's in control.
Right.
But I don't think she realizes that what she's doing is wrong. So.
Yeah.
And Dan, AIM was actually technically in Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3, correct? AIM.
I don't remember the plot of that movie. I don't remember anything.
No, that was the. Well, I take that back. Yeah, that was Iron Man 3 that they kind of.
Iron Man 3 had AIM,
but it was not. It was not the iteration of AIM that we know, as far as. Yeah.
But then again,
it's different. And then you also had the 10 Rings, which is another organization that supposedly is coming back in another movie. So.
And Wonderful World of Walt said there was new stuff added to the credits. The green gems felt new. I don't remember. I know they didn't do a fake end credit scene this time. Yeah. Like this. I think the last two they actually did like an end credit scene for the show itself. Starring Wanda, starring Vision, starring whatever, and then they went to the real end credit scenes. This time around, we didn't have that fake end credit scene, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, and that's what I say. It reminded me, because they're outside of that world now, the end credit scenes look just like the dome thing. The pixelization that you see, that's what it looks like, and that's why I feel like it's more of a television style, ending rather than a Vision ending. But
yeah.
All right, so. We're approximately 5 minutes to 4. I think we should be kind of wrapping up right about now. I mean, we did beat this Wanda episode 3 to a pulp as much as we can. Next week we are hosting Nerd Talk on Kenzie Days' channel.
Okay.
What, it's ticking right on the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we haven't found Kenzie Days and subscribed it to her, please go and find her and subscribe.
Find me somewhere.
Wait, right now she's currently at
She's
currently at 820 subscribers. So we're trying to get her up to that 1,000 mark for our trip in June.
I've decided I'm going to throw a party. I'm going to have my own little party.
Nice. Are we all invited?
We need to make it happen while you're here.
Oh yes, but
while I'm in Disney, we'll hit 1,000. I'll cry for like an hour, and then we'll have cake.
So if you hit 1,000, so what you're saying is you're going to do a disco dance in front of the castle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
With me.
Huh?
We're all going to disco dance.
Jeff
I think
too.
we all should.
Only if Disco Jeff is there.
Yes.
Right, Jeff?
Disco Jeff has to join.
Disco Jeff is in Pittsburgh.
We have to go back to Pittsburgh before we come back.
I'm not going back to Pittsburgh.
Yes, you are.
Never going back to Pittsburgh.
Nope.
Yes. Anyway, we will get Disco Jeff when we go back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So don't.
I'm not doing that again.
Don't let me hit 1K until June.
No. Anytime that you hit 1K, it's going to be special. And no matter what, when we get down there, if we get to 1K before we get to June, we'll definitely have hot pepperoni sandwiches and cake.
Oh yeah.
I think we should have hot pepperoni sandwiches no matter what. Not for me, but so I can watch everybody be in pain. But they get through one and they think I could do another, and then they can't.
No.
We are not putting chicken in the pepperoni.
I'll have a separate crock pot for that.
You messed that up.
Stop.
Even I don't like the hot pepperoni sandwiches. That does not sound good.
It sounds
what,
delicious.
chicken and sauce?
So,
Anyway.
Kenz, what do you got coming up tomorrow?
4:30. I don't know what it's going to be about yet, but I'll think of something. I recently started getting more into like cooking things, and I've also gotten more into reading lately. So maybe I'll like do something about what's been going on lately, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I've been reading this for the past week.
Oh,
very much enjoying it. And Mom and I went to Barnes & Noble and got a bunch of new Stephen King books because that's all I read is Stephen King. It's literally it.
Nice.
Anybody else is just Stephen King. So
Shawshank Redemption was the best book I ever read.
I have that. I have it.
That was so good.
Very
excited. So Tuesday or Monday at 4:30, Kenzie Days channel. She's going to do an hour stream from 4:30 to 5:30. Make sure you catch that out on Kenzie Days.
And then Friday pizza stream this week?
It is.
Yeah.
And I don't know whose channel that is, so.
I don't know.
But Nerd Talk is on my channel on Sunday.
And then Nerd Talk again on your side. So, Jeff and Ange, what you got coming up?
We might be doing a surprise stream today.
It's not a surprise stream if you tell everybody.
We don't know where it's going to be from, though.
I do.
That's the surprise.
Do you? Well, we think it might be there, but we might go somewhere else. We're waiting to see where everybody's going. You know what I mean?
I don't even know.
You know, so we could park.
Ange is going to stream from one place. Jeff's going to stream somewhere else.
No, that would be funny, wouldn't it?
We'll stream from one of the parks.
Yeah.
I actually have an idea for that, Jeff and Ange. We need to talk about it. So.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and then you got what else you got this week? On Thursday, you've got Dreaming with the Mouse.
Dreaming with the Mouse.
Dreaming with the Mouse.
Yeah.
Maybe they're kind of busy, but we'll do something.
We'll stream regardless.
We'll do something.
Yes.
Us.
Yes, and maybe a food vlog. We'll see. We have some stuff kind of piled up.
We have so much.
We have stuff piled up. Yes.
Cool. So. And then on Friday, you're with us with Pizza Stream.
Pizza.
Yes, and then Saturday we have I think we're going to be at Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom?
For 11 o'clock. Yep.
Russ, what do you got coming up, bud?
Tomorrow night, I will be on with Meg for her show at 9. We're going to be kind of gearing up our she wants to do a series of tutorials for the cricket cutter, and so we're going to kind of do a Q&A, I think, tomorrow night for that. So if you have any questions about the cricket or how it works or anything like that, bring those to Meg's tomorrow night. Tuesday at 3, we have book club. We're on Team Marie's channel. We're discussing On Her Majesty's Secret Service. We're going to be going up to chapter 8 for this week. And then next Saturday, we'll be continuing the cricket stuff at 3 o'clock. And we're going to be working on an actual project. And I'm going to show everybody how to make stickers. So you can make your own stickers with the cricket and, do whatever you want with it. So that's the plan for now. So.
Okay. And so for myself, this Tuesday, I will also be on book club. And we're up to chapter 8, so it means I have to read 8 chapters.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But they're short. They're not hard to get through.
So I will be on book club. That's on Tina Marie's place. Change of schedule. Tina Marie is taking my hour on Thursday 4 to 5, and I am taking Tina's hour from 5 to 6 on Wednesday because I have to probably I'm pretty much working Thursday till 5 o'clock. So check me out this Wednesday at 5 o'clock. We're going to stream. I think we might be building that.
We are going to be building the Boba Fett head.
We're going to be building the Boba Fett head. And again, we're doing pizza stream on Friday. So I want to thank you guys all for being here. I want to thank you guys in chat for also taking your time. I know there's a lot of streamers out there. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us. If you haven't given it a like, please hit that like, the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to all of us, because we're all just a bunch of nerds hanging out. Guys, thank you. And thank you for giving me your Sunday.
Bye, guys.